Would I do it again? Is one of those questions that sound simple on the surface, but in off-grid reality, it has multiple layers. Because off-grid living is not one single phase, it is a progression of completely different realities. There is the idea before you start, the shock and learning phase at the beginning, the adaptation phase, and the long-term maintenance reality. If you were talking about the idea of off-grid living, then, yes, most people who genuinely commit to it would still be attracted to it. The core motivation is independence from external systems, control over your environment, and a lifestyle that feels more intentional and grounded. In theory, building your own water, power, and food systems feels meaningful because it connects effort directly to outcome. That emotional pull doesn't disappear. But if you mean the beginning phase, the answer becomes much more complicated. This is where most people underestimate what they have actually taken on. Everything is new at once. You are learning how to manage water supply, energy systems, storage, and logistics, all while trying to maintain daily life. Nothing is stable yet, and every small mistake tends to have consequences that feel larger than expected. This is the phase of highest mental load. If someone only remembers this stage, many would honestly say they would not do it again. It is intense, exhausting, and often overwhelming. However, if you mean the transition phase, where systems start to become familiar, the answer starts to shift. You begin to recognize how long resources last, how seasons affect output, and which systems are actually essential versus unnecessary complexity. This is where people start simplifying, removing systems that were overbuilt, fixing design mistakes, and building routines that reduce daily stress. At this point, the lifestyle starts to feel less like survival and more like management. It is still work, but it becomes more predictable. In the long-term phase, where systems are stable and refined, the answer often becomes more nuanced and, for many people, surprisingly positive. Life is still work, but it is no longer constant crisis management. Instead, it becomes maintenance, planning, and seasonal adjustment. You understand your environment deeply. You design your life around what is actually sustainable rather than what looks ideal on paper. The workload is still present, but it is more distributed and less chaotic. Off-grid living rarely becomes effortless. It becomes understandable. What changes the answer most is perspective on responsibility. In modern life, many responsibilities are externalized, handled by systems you don't see. In off-grid life, those responsibilities become internal. At first, that feels heavy, but over time, some people begin to value that clarity. There is no ambiguity about who is responsible when something fails. That directness can feel stressful, but it can also feel honest. Another major factor is expectation adjustment. People expecting constant escape from stress tend to have the hardest time. But those who learn to expect maintenance as normal adapt better. A failure that once felt overwhelming becomes routine troubleshooting. Off-grid living doesn't just test systems, it tests personality fit. Some people naturally adapt to hands-on problem-solving and system thinking. Others find it draining to manage practical issues without support. The experience exposes the difference very clearly. A common conclusion is not, "I would never do this again," but instead, "I would do it again, but I would design it completely differently." More planning, simpler systems, better redundancy, and a slower transition. Experience removes unrealistic assumptions. There is also a psychological shift. At the beginning, it's a contrast to modern life. Later, it becomes more neutral. It is no longer framed as escape or ideology, but as a practical system with trade-offs. You are comparing reality to reality. So when you ask, "Would I do it again?" the answer is layered. Most would say yes in principle, for the value of independence. Many would say they would not repeat the hardest parts in the same way. The beginning phase is often underestimated. And many would say they would absolutely do it again, but only with the knowledge they have now and a more realistic approach. Off-grid living reshapes expectations. Most don't reject the lifestyle. They reject the version they had before they understood what it takes. For more honest, real-world breakdowns like this, make sure to subscribe to Off-Grid Life Tech for more videos.